Next up, let's look at categories. How can we create the categories for our posts so they'll get automatically sorted into that category, making it much easier to display on your website, because instead of having all of your posts, you could have all the categories. People can filter through the categories and find the selected posts that they want to see. So to get started, we're going to go to posts, hover over that, and then go to categories. This is going to be where we can create our categories. This is going to be parent categories and child categories. Before I do that, let's actually explain what that is. So a parent category is going to be the main category. You can then have subcategories, which are then called the child categories, and they're connected to the parent. So anything within the child category will also be in the parent category. For example, we might have WordPress help as a main category, which is called a parent. We can then have subcategories of security, analytics, and they can be subcategories. Therefore, if I add anything to the subcategory of WordPress help, it will also appear if somebody searches the main category of WordPress help also, and then in particularly on the subcategories. So let's go through that now. So we're going to create our parent category called WordPress help, and we're also going to create the slug. The slug is going to be a URL friendly version of what it's going to be. So WordPress-help. You don't actually have to put the dash, it will automatically fill that. However, this will be what will be on the ending of your domain. So www.yourwebsite/ and then it will be WordPress-help. So we want to set this as a parent category. We're going to leave this as none, and you can add a description if you want to add one. Once you've added your description, hit new category and it will be added on the categories. As you can see here, I've got a few categories that I've created. I've also got security and I've got migration. Let's say for instance, I want security and migration to be a subcategory. So I want their WordPress, I want the WordPress help to be the parent category. We're going to come to migration and we're going to go to edit. Now what we've got to do is just choose the parent category, which is going to be WordPress help in this instance. We're going to hit update and you'll see now that it's actually listed below the parent category, meaning anything that we put in here, if I go back to categories, you'll see they got WordPress help and then we've got a subcategory of migration. So anything in migration will show up in WordPress help. However, if we add the security, let's do the same here. So let's add this to WordPress help as well. It means that anything put into security will also be within the region of WordPress help. Anything put into migration will be within the region of WordPress help if anybody looks at the parent category. However, if you have something in the subcategory of security and somebody clicks on the subcategory of migration, it won't be there because they're in different subcategories. You can display your categories in different ways. Obviously, we have our categories set up and categorized cannot be deleted. We can change this though, so maybe just change uncategorized to other so it displays a little bit better if you are going to display it. So let's just change that to other. One of the places that we can actually display it is also a menu. So if we come to customize, I'll just do it from the front end so we can see what's going on at the same time. We're going to come down to menus. We're going to go to our primary menu and we're going to go to add item. Now rather than selecting pages or posts, we can come down to categories and we can select one of our categories. If I was to add the WordPress help here, then it would show everything from migration to security. Or I could potentially just make it a little bit more defined, so I could just have the security. So people can view the posts only from the security category. What might also look a bit better is adding the parent category and then adding the other categories also. What you can then do is just drag it a little bit to the right, meaning that on your page, they'll now have to go onto WordPress help, which is the main category. They can click on that and view all the posts in that category, or they can simply come down and check out a subcategory, which will have posts more specific to that. Another place you can do it is that you can add it as a block as well. So if I come down and if I search for categories, you're going to see that we have post categories or categories. We're going to go for post categories here. Obviously mine isn't going to display anything yet, so I don't actually have any posts in them. However, once you do have posts, they will display and they'll display on your page. You can do latest posts or just make an easier selection for people to be able to work through the categories.